So I played in Fortnite FNCS Community Cup. I never play any of these tournaments normally. When I do play them, I don't do them right. Last time I played, I got a probation for teaming. So the first game that I did, I decided to not use any guns. So some of it didn't record, but here's what I have, and let's get into it. We started off the game by fishing. We got tons of fish and mats. And we just ran along trying to avoid all contact. There were people all around us and they were going sweaty because this was the first game of the tournament, and that's kind of what you do. So we were just being really careful, getting mats, and hiding. Lots and lots of hiding. And we hid in this shack for quite a bit of time, actually. I'll time-lapse it so that you can see exactly how long we sat in here. As you can see, that was a pretty long time, and that was on times 4 speed. So we ended up needing to move out of there because of the zone, harvesting, and doing all sorts of stuff on the way. People were moving in toward the next zone at Tilted Towers, as you can see by that boat icon moving in that way. This is where things start to get dangerous. As you can see, we then headed over to the big hole in the ground to get shield, health, mats, and look for anything that could heal us or give us mobility, as we couldn't fight back ourselves. We finally got to the river. And after an embarrassing amount of attempts, I got some Spider-Men. But then we saw something dangerous. There were people that just crossed that river. If you don't believe me, go back and look. But things were starting to get dicey, and there were tons of people around. We would have to be a lot more careful. The people we spotted earlier were yet again within our line of sight, meaning we were within theirs. We had to be very conservative and take storm because there were people just to my left. The zone yet again was not our friend, so we popped some spicy fish and beelined it toward Tilted, the only safe place left in zone. Not that you can really call it safe. We frantically slid and run down with spicy fish in hand, gathering resources and anything we could scavenge that could help us later on. Giving spicy fish to each other and running away as fast as we could. My friend stayed behind as he saw people, but I was caught out there, so I quickly jumped into a truck to hide. With the storm closing in fast, I had nowhere to go. My friend swung out with Spider-Man in front of me, so I had to make the decision. I popped my spicy fish. I was being sprayed from behind me. My Spider-Man was broken. I was on barely any HP. But I was running. I was running to the safe area where my friend was hiding under the stairs. The safest area in the world, obviously. And I made it. And I was able to pop my heals and live for another minute or so. After a little while and the storm closing in, it was time to go. We got our Spider-Man ready and prepared to swing through dangerous Tilted Towers. In the middle of a tournament, something that would be considered crazy. There were people cranking 90s all around us, sweating out, grinding for those points, which they already had 14 of in placement. They were boxing up. My friend boxing up as well, getting into a building so we could sneak around. The storm was closing in. It was going to be tight. We had to take some damage here to evade being stuck in the storm for longer and eventually dying. We were now in somebody's tarp, low HP, finding nowhere to hide. I hid next to a car and popped my heels while people fought all around me. After popping my heels, the storm was again closing in, and it was time to run. It was time to get out of there and get as far as possible, as the storm was now moving onto mountains. This is where I would likely die. This is where it had to become a mission of just evading people. Because I cannot fight, and I cannot hide. So it is just box up, evade, and survive longer. But it was time to go already, and I based up. My Spider-Man was out, and the storm was too much, ending any possibility for me to keep going. But could my friend survive? I don't know. That's the question, and the question is then answered with no. Putting that behind me, it was time for my next game, and what better strat to do than the one, the only, the Groot strat. I was in position, and I was ready to sit there. And I was also ready to pass the time by playing games on my phone. Because that's what you do when you do the Groot strat. As you can tell, I'm very good at golf. After my amazing job in golf, I did a little bit of Clash Royale. After I got bored with that, and the storm was moving in, we decided we need to go and find another spot. So we ran, and we ran, and we ran, all the way to zone, kind of. We had been spotted, and they were shooting at us. We had no guns, so our only choice was to run. And we ran. And then I ran. And then I slid. Then eventually, I died. After doing that, I decided to do one of my favorite activities in Fortnite, and that was vault camping. And that went well.
Yo, Pierre, you wanna come out here? Look at this dude. Wait,
After that, we decided to go and have a game where we just popped off, but it didn't record. I got like 4 kills. It was nice. We died because our truck was low and it blew up in our faces. But after that, we went and played Sea of Thieves and did one of those Ashen Wins World events. Got some pretty good loot from it too. That is all. I hope you enjoyed. That was my experience in the FNCS. I'll see you next time.